What is deja vu? Did you ever get that strange feeling that you've been in an exact situation before, or that you already experienced something that you're doing for the first time? Have you ever felt that overwhelming sense of familiarity with something that you should not be familiar with at all? Like going somewhere for the first time and thinking, wow, I must have been here before. Or when you meet someone for the first time, you get a strange sense that you actually have known them for a long time. This phenomenon is called deja vu, which in French literally means already seen. Basically, it's a feeling that something happened before, whether something simple like a taste, a sight, or sound, or a sequence of events. Deja vu is a common intuitive feeling that 60 to 70% of people experience, and it occurs more to people who are 15 to 25 years old. Deja vu is rather complex and, like many unusual brain phenomena, is not yet fully understood. There's a lot of speculation on how and why deja vu occurs. Many parapsychologists believe these memories come from our past life experiences. Conversely, several psychoanalysts attribute deja vu to nothing more than fantasy and wishful thinking. Psychologists consider deja vu a memory mismatch, causing people to feel they've already experienced something that they actually haven't. Though not fully proven, some experts think deja vu is the communication error between short and long-term memories. Although science cannot currently figure out the true cause of deja vu, many different theories attempt to explain it, and each one has an interesting implication for our brain mechanisms. For those of you trying to solve this mystery, here are 3 psychological theories proposed to explain deja vu. Number 1. One theory called dual processing is where memories fail to form correctly in the brain, and it's the most widely accepted form of this mysterious phenomenon among psychologists. The dual processing theory is based on how brains process new information and how it stores short-term and long-term memories. Basically, when 2 cognitive processes are momentarily out of sync. In 1963, Robert Efron at the Veterans Hospital in Boston tested his proposed idea that a delayed neurological response is what causes deja vu. According to him, because information enters the processing centers of the brain via more than a single path, it's likely that there are instances that the blending of information might not synchronize correctly. In testing his theory, not only did he find the temporal lobe of the brain's left hemisphere to be responsible for sorting incoming information, he also discovered that the temporal lobe receives this incoming information twice, but with a millisecond-long delay between transmission. The information arrives once directly, and the second time after it detours through the right hemisphere of the brain. Should the second transmission get delayed by just slightly longer, the brain might put a later timestamp on the information and consider it as a different memory from the previous memory already processed by the first transmission. This neurological delay is what could possibly explain the sudden sense of familiarity people feel on certain experiences or events. So basically, your brain could be timestamping memories incorrectly and making you think that what you're experiencing right now is something you remember experiencing many years ago. Number 2, divided attention theory. Another theory suggests that deja vu could be triggered by things that we have seen subliminally, but we just haven't registered it on a conscious level yet. This is called divided attention, and this theory relies on the brain's inability to focus on all things at once, which means it has a tendency to momentarily forget about other actions or events that are happening in real time. According to this theory, it's not necessary for people to actually have experienced an event or a stimulus in the past for deja vu to occur. Instead, divided attention theory tells us that when we are first exposed to a situation and we are momentarily distracted by something else, such as a thought or a sight, this causes us to not pay attention to what's going on around us. While we may not have consciously taken note of what was happening at our surroundings at the time, we have, however, taken it in unconsciously. But as we regain awareness, the entire sequence of events rushes back to us as eerily familiar, as if our memory is convincing us that we've been there before, which we kind of have in a way. Number 3, the hologram theory. The last theory that we'll be discussing is the hologram theory. Dutch psychiatrist Herman Snow proposed the idea that memories are like holograms, which means that a person can recreate the entire 3-dimensional image from any fragment of the whole. Basically, each part contains the whole. Based on his reasoning, human memories are so interlinked with each other that experiencing just a single fragment is enough for a person's brain to reconstruct an entire multisensory memory. However, there is a caveat to the brain's automatic process of filling in the blanks, and that is, the smaller the fragment, the fuzzier the ultimate picture or scene will be. According to Snow, deja vu happens when certain details in the current environment we are in, be it sight, sound, smell, or something else, resemble some remnant memory in our past, and our brain recreates a complete picture or an entire scene from that fragment alone. This could be particularly confusing if our memory of that past event is either vague or incomplete, since the brain would just have to put in other bits of information to complete the picture, even if the added memory isn't actually our own. This brings out a feeling of familiarity as well as the powerful sensation of reliving a forgotten memory, which could in turn trigger the experience of deja vu. And so, based on this theory, you could experience deja vu when picking up a can just because the feeling of the metal is the same as the bike handle that you once had, or when you go to a restaurant and saw a tablecloth without actually remembering that your grandmother also had the same one at their dining table when you were just a small child. Although deja vu has been extensively studied as a phenomenon for over 100 years, and researchers have come up with dozens of advanced theories about its cause, there's no specific theory that can 100% accurately answer this mystery. Until now, we can honestly say that there is no simple explanation for how exactly deja vu works and why it happens. Perhaps sometime in the near future, when technology advances enough and we've learned more thoroughly how the brain works, we'll finally be able to unlock the compelling secrets behind this strange phenomena. Or perhaps when we achieve a spiritual enlightenment, our brains and memories will be unlocked and we'll understand all the mysteries of the universe. Does that sound familiar?